Robert Dickey aims to become the first British super featherweight champion to retain his title, but 9 others have failed to do so. Good evening from the Stockport Town Hall, where the Welshman Robert Dickey seeks to end the jinx that has really haunted the British super featherweight division. The challenger, Sugar Jibblearoo from Liverpool, hopes to extend that hoodoo and deprive Dickey of the title that he won last March when he stopped Kevin Pritchard. Dickey has already won a Lonsdale belt outright at featherweight. Now he's hoping to add a second belt at super featherweight, where no British boxer has been able to retain the title since this weight division was reintroduced here 5 years ago.
Robert Dickey enjoys being a champion again, but more importantly, he's just happy to be alive. 4 years ago, after winning a Lonsdale belt in record time at featherweight, he ended up in intensive care with a broken vertebrae after overturning his car. He came back fitfully, becoming the first Briton to win a WBC international title, but his appetite had gone. Now he's a champion again, but in the super featherweight division, where strangely 9 successive champions have failed to defend their crown.
Nothing strange about it, it's just the champion hasn't been born yet to successfully defend it. But I'm able to change all that next Tuesday.
He lost his Lonsdale record last week to lightweight champion Carl Crook. He wants Crook's title next, but first he wants that record back. He's hungry again.
Well, we've been planning on beating my own record in the first place. So now somebody's gone and beaten it for me. It'll give me more incentive to beat it myself.
He's a collector of titles and he wants to win a few more titles.
Dickey is the former WBC international champion at super featherweight. He's lost only twice in 26 fights, and he's won 22 with 15 knockouts. The challenger, Sugar Jibblearoo from Liverpool, a durable boxer with a good recent record. 3 wins and a draw in his last 4 fights. His 27 defeats as a pro do not reflect the exciting contests that Jibblearoo has been involved in. So it's the British Super Featherweight Championship then, scheduled for 12 rounds and sponsored by Telstar Video Entertainment.
So the rundown then with, there he is, referee John Coyle from the Midlands, one of the most experienced now, does world title fights.
Seconds out, round 1.
Now then, can Robert Dickey break this hoodoo of this incredible run of champions losing their title first time up at this weight, 9 stone 4. Well, one of the most pleasing fighters around, Sugar Jibblearoo, I must say. But Dickey, good form since he made the comeback and going up in a higher weight. I mean, considering he had such a bad car accident not that long ago and was, well, threatened that he wouldn't walk again. There he is, winning 1 Lonsdale belt and going for another. Sugar from Liverpool, very much in Manchester and Stockport, the hometown fighter. He does a lot of fighting in this area. Good, classy performer, Robert Dickey. He's had 1 or 2 in and outs apart from the accident. And, it looks as though it's finally really got down to business. Jibblearoo got his dad in the corner tonight, a former pro out of Liverpool, Ghanaian born. Good, neat boxer, Dickey, genuinely.
Yeah, he's very good. I think we have to, if we're being honest here, Reg, we have to say that anything that Dickey does is a cut above what Sugar does. If I was in Sugar's corner, I would tell him, forget the 12 rounds, son. This is a 4-round fight for you. Go out. Dickey has been cut before. He hasn't lost on cut, but he's been cut. So get up and give him the hardest 4 rounds you can pull out of yourself. And maybe, who knows, you can spring the hoodoo, maybe win an injury or maybe catch him in one of these big shots. But I don't think Jibblearoo wants to stand off and allow Dickey to dictate the pace, because, as I say, he is a little cut above anything that Sugar has produced over the years.
Inside the last minute then of the first round.
But having said that, Jibaliro's getting through with some nice little jabs. I think he's conscious of his own defence, which is not really a bad idea. He's a little bit more defensively minded, but at this late stage in his career, he can't become a defensive fighter. I think he's going to have to get that chin down nice and low, bore forward, and let the punches go exactly like that, Reg.
If you go on record, of course, Sugar's lost more than he's won, but, you know, there's so many debated decisions among that, and he's had 7 drawn. So it shows you how many close fights he must have had in his time.
And he's been in good company a lot of those times, Reg. He's doing very well. He's having a good first round here, Reg. His chin's nice and low, and he looked to wobble Dickey with that shot. Dickey, very open for a champion. He's come back with a good right hand of his own. This is a cracking first round for a title fight, Reg.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were saying, Jibalirou's been in with 5 British, Commonwealth or European champions. He knows his way around. Manager Colin Breen then from Wales now looking after his man there, and Jibilirou with Ray Farrell in the corner, and there's his father. Five British, Commonwealth and European champions he's been in with this fella. He's a real good old throwback pro. Jim's, have a look at this replay now.
Well, that was
opening round.
A lovely compact opening round from Jibilirou. He's really kept his mind on defence, kept his chin down, landed some good jabs, and a cracking right hand got through. He had to take a good one in return just a few seconds later. But a very promising round for the challenger.
Seconds out. Round 2.
Second round, scheduled of course for the 12 rounds, 9 stone 4 division. Jibilirou 9 3 3/4 and Dickey 9 3 1/4. It's a 9 stone 4 division, as I said. That's between feather and lightweights.
I think we should also remember that Dickey had a real difficult time in getting hold of this title, Reg, and another real hard fight might not be what he wants straight away. Whereas Jibilirou does not mind a hard fight. He's used to them. He seems to thrive on them. Dickey may start trying to make things a little bit easier on himself, but he's beginning to flick with the jab in the second round, and that's not what he should do, because Jibilirou will come right through those. Dickey doesn't have his rhythm about his work as yet.
Good, correct championship punching coming in here, particularly from Dickey, but a good start also by the Sugar man.
Yep, those were good solid shots from the challenger. There goes again, that jab again. I never really thought Jibilirou would have success catching Dickey with the jab, but several times he's really used the jab very well indeed.
It's amazing really, Sugar Jim, as I said, a real hard pro. He's boxed anywhere from 9 stone 4 right up to 10-5. Takes on the all-comers.
I mean, people may look at his record and say, what's he doing challenging for a British title? But he deserves it as much, probably more than anybody, because what he's given the game, he's been in with all the champions. He deserves a British title crack as much as anybody. And Reg, in the first couple of rounds here, he certainly merits that. Dickey is very, very careless looking tonight. He's taken far too many punches. I don't know if he's underestimated this man a little bit. If he has done, he could be in for some sore news.
Well, he fancies the fight, Jibilirou. I must say that he's lost only once in his last 7 contests. That's one of the many reasons why he justified a title crack. Always an exciting fight, says Needy Sugarman. I mean, they threw money in the ring in Scotland, of all places for you, Jim. You know all about that. £407 once he got Nobbins with Robert Harkin.
See, look how compact Jibilirou is. He's not making mistakes. He's so controlled. This is not the typical Jibilirou. He's usually adventurous, kind of a little bit cavalier in his approach, but obviously he respects Dickey. But here come these nice little solid leads and counter punches. Really boxing well.
Good little uppercut came in there, though, from Dickey. You notice that?
In all driving conditions,
Championship fight. There's a lot of quality of boxing. Getting caught with that right hand over the left lead there, Dicky. He's got to watch that. Good counter punch by Jabuluru. Strange enough, of all those fights, Jim, Jabuluru's only actually stopped or knocked out 6.
The good thing about Jabuluru's work tonight, he's working from a solid base. No, he's just standing good steady on his feet, and that's why some of these little punches Dicky was spitting blood at the end of the round, and that's not because he's the little tickles he's having to take. Jabuluru boxing well. Dicky still to produce it is better for him. Dicky at this time is the one who can do all the improving. But he's going to have to start showing some championship form. He hasn't done that in the first couple of rounds. And I feel that Dicky's defence is very loose, whereas Jabuluru's is quite the opposite. That was a cracker, Reg.
Good exchange of right hands there.
Well, that was Dicky's Sunday right hand come out there. Jabuluru, as usual, has taken the punch well.
Oh, that's a bit rough. The head went in there. Quite rightly, John Cole saying kick the head up.
See, Dicky just really pawing and prodding with the left jab, not snapping it in Jabuluru's face, which is allowing him to come all the way forward and get his own punches off. Jabuluru hasn't landed quite so many in this round, but I think that's because Dicky has been thinking about evasive tactics. He's not standing ground himself, but his own little jabs are just little flicks, really.
And again there, just flicks the left hand up and shoots the right hand over Dicky perfectly.
Well, I've got to be honest, I like Jabuluru's work at this stage in the fight better than Dicky's. The single shots that Dicky's producing those, but the good solid work, drilling them home, Jabuluru's doing it.
Now though, you can see this champion right hand of Dicky's coming in here. He shoots it right across. There it is, bingo. But he just took one in return there. Well, experience, isn't it? 46 fights. Knows what it's all about. Being very calm about it all. And last fight was here in January at Stockport against Nigel Bradley. Lost in a Commonwealth Challenge actually to Mark Reefer.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Fourth round of this British Super Featherweight Championship. She's got to get championship fights in this part of the world in Stockport there, sponsored by Telstar Video.
See, Dicky is the one who's losing his composure, Reg. He's the one who's been caught with his chin too high. There it goes again. Jabuluru has always been controlled with his chin down nice and low. This is obviously what they've worked at. Dicky, with his championship experience, should have that chin far lower and his defence far tighter. He's getting caught with his head high far too often. And that's where the damage to the mouth comes from.
It's firing little volleys of punches now, Dicky. I think the corner must have G'd him up a bit, saying You had thought this might be an easy one. It's not going to be. And almost ridiculous hoodoo now over these champions that lost them first time up at super featherweight. Just incredible.
Dickie is very good. Quite a few times in his career he's turned mediocre performances into knockout victories. You know, he can just spring into action, but I think the time now, Reg, is for him to do that. See these punches, he's just sticking the arms out. He's not really... See, there he goes, getting caught with his head in the wrong position again.
Yeah,
there he goes once again.
He ought to know by now, Jimmy. He had 8 championship fights in his 26. And that's a lot out of 26 fights, 8 of them for championships.
Well, I think it's a ragged performance from Dickie. When you think from a defence point of view, his defence has been very poor. See, there he goes again, and now and again his legs don't seem too sure. See, once again caught with his head too high. We're looking at a British champion here. It's quite possible winning this title has taken a little edge off of Dickie. Maybe a little easy 6-rounder is what he needed rather than this. See, he's not really getting through any clean stuff, the champion. But he's taken plenty back. Now, I feel that Dickie is struggling in here tonight, Reg. There he goes, bang again. See, he's not landing anything without somebody coming back in reply. This way, he's going to have to just grit his teeth. He's having to take punches, so he's going to have to come back with better ones. It's no use trying to make this an easy fight. It's not going to be.
Really cracking battle, this.
It's a cracking battle, Reg, but Dickie is showing the effects of this battle. Jibiluru is not at this point.
Well, they're trying to be calm and collected there in the Welsh lad's corner, but Jim Watson is making more than hard work of this at the moment. Let's have a look at this now.
See, look at the two of them, Reg. Dickie's the one with the head too high. Jibiluru back. Look what his chin is. Dickie's totally unprotected. He got away with this time, possibly. Nope, then he gets caught again with his... Again, totally unprotected. And this is the champion we're looking at here.
10.
Once again, caught with his chin high. Jibiluru all times, chin down nice and tight.
Second round. Round 5.
Out for the 5th round. Now, as this hoodoo of the champion being unable to retain the championship, 9 attempts now since this division was reinstated in 86. Originally it was Jimmy Anderson of your old stable, Terry Lawless, who was the first champion, and this division was invented. That was back in 68.
I would have thought by now Dickie would be bringing punches up through the middle. When you have a man with his chin nice and tucked down, it's pointless throwing straight shots. You want to bring them up and knock that head up from where it is, but Dickie hasn't been throwing them yet. And Dickie is cut, Reg, and it's a bad one.
Oh dear, that's a shame if that happened. He had that problem against Kamil Bouali. He lost the WBC International with a cut in the 5th round.
This is where the character of Dickie is at test. He's done it before, he's been cut before, he's been hurt before, and he's come back. But he's really going to have to do it now. But Sugar Jibiluru is the man who is full of the fight at the moment. Dickie is the one who's feeling the pace and feeling the punches. See, Dickie looks so much tireder than Jibiluru at this point. Jibiluru has been controlled all the way through. He really had... For me, his punches have been better than Dickie's. Dickie's single shots have been better. But just the steady work rate of Jibiluru, his punches have been real good quality.
The referee call is But let him get on for the time being with that cut around the right eye there, and give the corner a chance to look at it as well. And try and patch it up. A minute to go in round 5. And certainly a lot of desperation in Dickie's fighting. No, he's telling him to go to neutral corner so he can have a look at it now. He wants the seconds to just wipe the blood away so they can have a close-up. And John Gaynor's doing that. He's the cut man. And referee's opinion, it's not too serious.
I would have thought if Robert Dickey had another gear to move into the edge, he would have moved into it, but now he hasn't moved into a gear. So he is really feeling the pace here. He knows his title could be slipping, and he's looking, he's pulling away from the punch. He's wanting the referee to step in there and warn Jibiluru, I think. He's feeling a little bit sorry for himself. I can't really blame him. Jibiluru was a little bit dangerous with his head then.
So we're counting the last 10 seconds of this round. Now, can they patch him up? As you say, he's a little bit sorry for himself for the way he's fighting. He's pulling faces a bit there, Dickey. And he knows he's in banging trouble here. And it's too early in the fight to really be cut like that. Got a problem to hear the bell, and I'm not surprised. John Gaynor's got to work quickly and staunch that now with the 1 in 1,000 adrenaline that's permitted by the Border Control, and they have their inspectors in the corner to make sure no other solutions are used. And there it is, you see the Border inspectors just make sure that it's the correct attention and that no other coagulants are used. Very strict rule the Border Control have on that.
Seconds.
He's just checking on it. Referee call at the start of the 6th round. Now, can champion Robert Dickey beat the hoodoo, as it were, and try and turn this fight around? He was struggling at the end of the 5th. Maybe the seconds have told him, well, come on, it's not too bad, we can take care of it, okay, Jim?
Well, Reg, it's bad enough being cut in a fight where maybe things have fallen into place and you're boxing well. Then you maybe just got to keep your nose in front. But Dickey has not been boxing well. He didn't pay any attention to defence. He's paid the price. He's struggling, actually, and I don't really think he's ahead in points at this moment. I have Jibiluru in front. I think his work's been better since about the 2nd round. So Dickey now has an added problem. It's a poor performance by his own standards. And now he's got to find something completely different. He's doing some good evasive boxing, which he should have been doing in the first few rounds to try to open Jibiluru up. But he boxed Jibiluru's fight in the first few rounds. He's paid the penalty, and now, in my book, he's struggling. He's going to really have to find something special. He's found it before, but I don't know if he can find it again.
And of course, in the British Championship fight, the referee is the sole arbiter. There are no judges. A little bit more control, perhaps, in the start of this round, anyway, from Dickey.
Well, that's obviously just because of the cut, Reg.
Yeah, it's started to leak a bit now too, Jim.
Yep, once again, he's caught with his head too high. I'm beginning to think, Reg, that it was too hard winning this title. I don't think he's been ready to defend it. I think maybe they've underestimated Jibiluru a little bit. I think a couple of 8-rounders just to nurse themselves back in. But he had a real hard time getting the title from Kevin Pritchard. And I just don't think he's ready for this one. Jibiluru looks he's going to be a little bit too much for him on the night unless he can produce that little spark he's produced in the past. I'm surprised at the success Jibiluru has had with his own jab. He's not noted for an accurate jab man.
Just occasionally try to wipe the blood away from his eye there, Dickey. He's really finding a sort of despondent fight for a champion.
See, it's powerful shots that Dickie needs, and he's still prodding away with the little point-scoring punches. But I would say with his eye cut, he's going to have to produce the powerful stuff, and I would say the uppercuts is what's required. The way Jibilu's coming, I mean, Jibilu's coming straight forward. He's not that difficult to catch, but his defence is sound tonight.
So again, the referee leaving the corner to try and staunch that now before he inspects it at the start of the next round. They're obviously well happy with the night's work in this corner. Jibilu's fighting well. I think the contest of his career, no question about it. I mean, he's been down in previous fights. He's got a draw with the champion Pat Barrett, lost a return, and now this is his big chance.
Round 7.
7th round of this British Super Featherweight Championship. The defending champion Robert Dickey from Swansea really having an uphill battle against the old. Well, he's actually younger than Dickey, but we call him old because of the 46 fights he's had. Sugar Jibilu from Liverpool.
See, Jibilu, it's been the performance of his life, but he's very predictable, Reg. He's doing the same things now as he was doing in the first round. He's just coming straight forward with his chin down nice and low, which is the proper tactics, and Dickey hasn't really been able to do anything with it. I mean, Dickey getting caught with his head high. He's getting through with his own punches now, but still taking punches. He should be able to solve.
He's got another problem too. He's swelling under the right eye, Dickey. He seems to know that he's got to do something now, really turn it on to try and pull this fight around.
Well, there was a sign that Dickey started to pull himself together there. He wants to start using that left hook, because he's got to find a way to Jibilu's chin. It's no use hitting him in the forehead. That was a little bit dangerous with the head again from Sugar. But Dickey, it really looks, Reg, as though he's feeling sorry for himself there. He doesn't look full of the night's work, does he?
No, not at all. All of the sparkle has gone out of it. He takes a deep breath and grits the teeth on occasions, as he is there. But
there go the shots. That's the shots he has to find, Reg. He's not found them often enough.
he has a long look at him. Notice that call when he parts them like that. Has a long look at Dickey.
And that's a bad bump. I think that was the little smack of heads at the start of the round that's caused that bump under the eye. I saw Sugar go through with his head a little bit low. But now Dickey is trying to produce the punches he should have found earlier. And that swelling could be as big a problem as the cut, Reg.
Yeah, I don't think this fight can possibly go the distance now. And it's...
Coyle's going to have to have a word with the heads, Reg.
Yeah, he is. He's been a bit rough there with it. He's been a bit tolerant, I thought, the referee with him.
I think Dickey's corner should be screaming at the referee a little bit. Jibilu was a little bit dangerous once or twice there.
Now, can the one punch happen now as we get the countdown for this round for Dickey? Because it is really his only chance. Now they've got a job there, and the only bloke in the place who doesn't know how bad it is will be Dickey at this point, but he obviously is handicapped by that swelling now. Now let's have a look at that replay again. There is that right hand punch. picking them off like that is what really Dickey should be doing, like that. But just missing like that, you see, when he puts them together, he's got quite accurate with it. Staying right until the last second there, the corner man, John Gaynor, to attend that eye. He's doing a good job on it, but it's very hard to get that swelling down for round 8.
See, for me, Dickey is just a split second late in letting those punches off. He should be stepping forward to meet. Jibaliru had come straight forward towards him all the way through the fight, but Dickey has allowed him to get up close. Therefore, his own punches are not long enough to have the power. He should be meeting Jibaliru now as he comes in and getting the power, getting the shoulder behind the punch. But Jibaliru's tactics have been excellent tonight. His concentration's been good. His chin has been nice. There it is again, rubbing it, yep.
Admittedly, it was under the chin, Jim, but it's still
well, that kind of head contact, Reggie, it's not serious when there are no cuts. But when a fighter is cut, the referee shouldn't allow the opponent's head near that cut. And once or twice, Sugar has rubbed the head in a little bit. It hasn't been a butt, but he's just taken advantage of a few situations and just rubbed the head a little bit. And when a fighter's already cut, that's as bad as that clash. See,
planted that right hand inaccurately all the time, Dickey, but it's had no effect on Jibaliru.
Because it's been landing high, Reg. Jibaliru's chin has been nice and low all the way through, between his gloves, between his shoulders. So the punches he's had to take, he's taken them just in the top of the head, the side of the head. And that's why they haven't had the effect. Dickey should be bringing punches up through the middle to try and find that chin. He has the power to hurt this man, but he hasn't been able to find the proper target. And he's getting caught in foolish positions.
Yeah, he's
so
desperate
often.
now, Jim. He's not really looking to battle on there, Dickey. He's just getting totally frustrated there and demoralised.
Well, even a couple of rounds ago, Reg, it looked as though he would rather be somewhere else, and who can blame him? The state is beginning to look. But he's going to have just a final fling. If he's maybe feeling that sorry for himself, I think a final fling is what's called for.
Inside the last minute of the 8th round.
I'm surprised the cut hasn't worsened, because Jibaliru has given it a fair bit of attention since it appeared.
Now, it's a real hard championship fight now. They're both tiring a bit, and not surprising that.
See, I think what we're having, Reg, is a jaded performance from the champion, but an exceptionally good performance from the challenger. And that's why we're seeing the situation we're seeing. Full credit to Jibaliru. He really has prepared for this one, and he really wants to. Look at the state of Robert Dickey's face.
Sometimes these things can look worse than they really are when the fighter's face gets bloodied a bit like that, and it gets cleaned up in the corner and it doesn't look too bad. But when you've got a swelling like that below the eye, it's very hard indeed to massage it away as he's trying to do there. There's Colin Breen, the manager, on the outside. The chap in the ordinary suit is the Border Control Inspector. And the referee keeping an eye on it is in the other corner, but he's looking across at Dickey the whole time.
Seconds out. Round 9.
Out for round 9 of this championship fight at 9 stone 4 division. He's flurrying away with punches all the time, Jibaliru. They're not potentially hard shots, if you think in terms of the great champions at this weight over the years. Chavez, Azuma Nelson, and even your old mate Alex Aguelo, Jim, won it at this weight. But it's just the sheer volume of punches from the Sugar Man, isn't it, that's counted.
Dickie found him with a good right hand there, Reg. Gibellero a little bit loose now. See, I think he thought he had Dickie in trouble, and his own defence is opened up. The gum shield's out.
It's fallen right in front of our commentary position here. We're in trouble to find it, actually. It's a fairly new rule, and Jim Watt, in fact, is getting underneath the ring apron to try, and he's found it. Oh, I'm glad he didn't put it in his own mouth out of habit. So, box on. It's a good idea. That's a medical rule been brought in the British rules now, that the referee can retrieve the gum shield and place it back. But if a boxer deliberately spits it out, he can penalise them.
Well, Gibellero has chosen this time to raise the pace, and it's not a bad time as long as he keeps his own chin down. But he's really in control here, Reg. If Dickie doesn't fire back with something because of his injuries and because he's not firing back yet, he's going to stop it.
In the 9th round, and the real underdogs won it, and there they go in the ring there, catapulting in children, relations, everybody. And you can understand that. What a happy man this guy's got to be. I really don't think even he could really have expected that he could dominate the fight as much as he did. And he's been so long getting this chance. Only 24 years of age, mind you, but 47th fight. And once more, this incredible jinx on this championship, the 10th champion in succession who has failed to make a first defence of this title. So family, friends, children, they're all in there now. And what a wonderful moment for a real old travelling pro, once a journeyman, now a champion, Sugar Gibellero. And you expect there a forlorn Robert Dickie going over and sportingly congratulating his conqueror. So waiting now for the, that's it, for the family reunion to turn down, and the Border Control steward and the Secretary John Morris putting this belt on Sugar Gibellero.
Dickie being in no condition to continue.
Well, I have to say, after congratulations, the most unlikeliest on paper of British champions.
I'm just made up. Don't know what to say. I'm happy.
I mean, I know it doesn't reflect your career, but this is only your 13th win in 47 contests, and you're the British champion.
People who understand boxing know that it's just an ordinary win. I've been in substitutes and all that. I thought I won most of the fights, like, but you're boxing in their hometown. What you'd expect? Both sub jobs, 24 hours notice, an hour's notice for fights. I mean, for instance, I boxed Joey Jacobs at an hour's notice, and look at him, he's a top guy, you know what I mean? What you expect.
But you had plenty of notice for this fight, and the great thing was you were so controlled. It wasn't a normal Sugar. You had a guard up, you knew what you were doing.
Well, if you train properly and train hard for the fight, what do you expect? You've got to fight properly, haven't you?
We were amazed at how open Dickie's chin was during that fight. It was a good target for you.
I wasn't saying how open it was, it's just I put my shots together well. That's what happened. I mean, I can't say I'm just happy.
Well, where do we start tonight? Sad night for you.
Oh, well, it's one of the things again. We start back. What do we do? Take a bit of time out, leave it ill, and see what happens from there, don't we?
It wasn't you tonight, Robert. You didn't look like your normal skillful self. What was the problem?
Didn't seem to have the strength in me tonight. I don't know what was wrong. I just didn't feel right.
Did you underestimate him?
He fought exactly as I thought he'd fight, but he was a lot stronger than I thought.
But you got one problem.
What's that?
You're now the 10th holder of this. No one can hang on to this title since it was reintroduced.
First, isn't he? Always the first.
They all say that, Sugar.
He's my third
I'm the first one. Third one, yeah. It's lucky.
lucky.
I'm going to get it. Anyone wants this, you'll have to kill me for it.
Well, somebody may have to kill him in the boxing sense, but one thing is for sure, as far as this